न्याय की प्रक्रिया को न्याय के तरीके से चलने दिया जाए, उसको राजनीति के तराजू से न तोला जाए और मामला न्यायपालिका में है, उसको पूर्ण किया जाए। न्यायपालिका से आने के बाद सरकार की जिम्मेवारी जहां शुरू होती है, हम पूरी तरह प्रयास करने के लिए तैयार हैं।
इसलिए राम जन्मभूमि आंदोलन के एक सहयोगी संगठन के नाते हम कहते हैं नहीं, राम जन्मभूमि पर शीघ्रतापूर्वक राम मंदिर बनना चाहिए और हम कहते हैं कि सरकार कानून बनाए, कानून बनाकर मंदिर बनाए।
No Ram Temple Ordinance before the Supreme Court verdict. That's what Prime Minister Modi has said in an interview to ANI this evening. He said a solution to the issue will be found within the ambit of the Constitution. But the Prime Minister also used the opportunity to attack the Congress over the issue, saying that it's the Congress lawyers that are creating obstacles in court. The Sangh Parivar that has been pressing for an immediate legislative solution, possibly an ordinance. These Dharam Sansads that are being held across the country are discussing this issue as well. Where does it leave them? Will they be willing to wait, or is there some sort of confidence that the judicial process will be hastened and will be over well before the election model code of conduct sets in? Here with Viewpoint this evening, I'm Maha Siddiqui. Here's what has triggered today's debate.
एक इमोटिव इशू हो रहा है अयोध्या में राम टेम्पल का मसला। अब उसको लेकर जैसे आपने ट्रिपल तलाक में आप ऑर्डिनेंस ले आए, तो राम मंदिर को लेकर ऑर्डिनेंस लाना क्या इज इट अ प्रॉब्लम? नहीं ला सकते हैं? राम मंदिर अभी तक सिर्फ इमोटिव इशू ही क्यों बन के रह गया है?
देखिए, ट्रिपल तलाक का ऑर्डिनेंस सुप्रीम कोर्ट के जजमेंट आने के बाद लाया गया है। सुप्रीम कोर्ट के जजमेंट के पहले नहीं लाया गया है और सुप्रीम कोर्ट के जजमेंट के प्रकाश में लाया गया है। और इसलिए हमने, भारतीय जनता पार्टी ने अपने मैनिफेस्टो में भी कहा है कि संविधान की मर्यादाओं में हम इसका समाधान करेंगे। इस बात का कोई इनकार नहीं कर सकता है कि आज़ादी के 70 साल बाद सरकारों में बैठे हुए लोगों ने इस मसले को रोकने के लिए भरपूर प्रयास किया है। आज भी मामला सुप्रीम कोर्ट में है। एक प्रकार से पूर्णता के किनारे पर आकर के बैठा हुआ है। मैं कांग्रेस के साथियों से विशेष रूप से विनती करता हूं, देश की शांति, सुरक्षा, भाईचारे के लिए आग्रह करता हूं कि वे उनके अपने वकीलों को कोर्ट के अंदर इस मसले में रुकावट डालने वाले एजेंडा से बाहर निकालें, रुकावटें न करें और सभी वकील मित्र जो भी कांग्रेस से जुड़े हुए हैं, जो इसको रोकने के लिए कोशिश कर रहे हैं, वो भी कोर्ट में जाकर के जल्दी से जल्दी न्यायिक प्रक्रिया पूरी हो, उसमें हम बल लगाएं।
तो सिर्फ एक नेशनल कंसेंसस के द्वारा ही बन सकता है?
मैं जो कहता हूं, कोर्ट के अंदर कांग्रेस के वकील जो अड़ंगे डालते हैं वो बंद हो, न्याय की प्रक्रिया को न्याय के तरीके से चलने दिया जाए, उसको राजनीति के तराजू से न तोला जाए और मामला न्यायपालिका में है, उसको पूर्ण किया जाए। न्यायपालिका से आने के बाद सरकार की जिम्मेवारी जहां शुरू होती है, हम पूरी तरह प्रयास करने के लिए तैयार हैं।
So importantly, the Prime Minister has not ruled out the route of an ordinance, but not before a verdict from the Supreme Court. But is that what the Sangh Parivar wants? Because that has been building pressure on the government at the centre to bring in some sort of a legislative solution to this issue, either a bill or an ordinance. Now, here's what a series of people from the Sangh Parivar have been saying. Mohan Bhagwat, let's start with him, the RSS chief. What has he said on this matter? The government should clear the path for the construction of the Ram temple in Ayodhya through a law. He has clearly spoken about why the RSS believes that the Mandir should be built immediately and that a law should be put in place if the judiciary is taking time. Sanjay Raut of the Shiv Sena leader bring in an ordinance to build the Ram temple. Shiv Sena will support it. This is what Shiv Sena has been saying. In fact, it has been drumming up support for itself on the issue of the Ram temple, even going to the extent of going to Ayodhya and holding a rally there as well. Alok Verma, VHP leader, has said bringing an ordinance is the only option. The centre should show urgency. So clearly it couldn't have been more clear than this. Part of the Sangh Parivar, VHP, saying that an ordinance or a legislative route should be used at with urgency rather at the earliest. Akhil Bharatiya Sant Samiti has said that the government must bring in a legislation or an ordinance for Ram temple in Ayodhya without any further delay. So this is the kind of pressure that has been built on the BJP to bring in an ordinance, to bring in a bill to build a Ram temple. But today the Prime Minister has said that the judicial process, once it's over, only then can the government think about what to do next. Meanwhile, the Shiv Sena, the RSS, the Congress and the BJP have all reacted to the Prime Minister's statement, highlighting that the Mandir row is only set to escalate on the road to 2019. Listen in.
It is a really political statement. It is absolutely necessary. Instead of giving the answer of legal process, government should come forward and issue an ordinance for the construction of the temple.
इस देश में रहने वाले सभी की इच्छा है कि राम मंदिर बनना चाहिए, तो कानूनी प्रक्रिया का इंतजार करेंगे आप? देखते क्या होता है?
Is this the culture of the BJP to pressurize the government to decide a particular matter in a particular way? This is shocking. In fact, this is contempt of court.
Prime Minister just has to tonight at 12 o'clock, he can call the Vishnu Parishad and hand over the land and say build. And inform the Supreme Court that we have complied with Narasimha Rao's cabinet decision. We cannot await the court verdict on this. We have to do it before the election.
The blunt question that we are debating tonight, Prime Minister Modi says wait for the court verdict in Ayodhya. Will the Sangh pay heed? Our guests on the show this evening, Vineet Goenka, BJP leader, Sanjeev Tiwari, RSS supporter, Karthik Chopra from the Nirmohi Akhada is the spokesperson, Sharad Pradhan, senior journalist, Sanjay Kumar, CSDS director, Advaita Kala, author. So these are our guests, our panelists this evening, who will be answering questions about whether the Sangh Parivar is willing to wait. The Prime Minister has said that no steps as far as an ordinance or a bill are concerned will be taken before the Supreme Court verdict. Is the Prime Minister being realistic? An ordinance can be taken to court at this juncture. It can be challenged. Is he being realistic at the moment by saying that there can be no ordinance till the matter is decided by the court? Let me first go across to the RSS representative here, Sanjeev Tiwari. RSS has insisted on an ordinance so far. Your chief has himself spoken about how a legislative route should be taken to build the Ram temple. What is the RSS's reaction, first of all, to what the Prime Minister has said today?
See, we welcome the decision of the statement of Honorable Prime Minister, because he is having the constitutional obligation to the nation, and that is what he followed. Just on the 4th of January, there is a date in the Supreme Court, Honorable Supreme Court, and we believe that the long pending judicial process will come to an end in this month only, and the Supreme Court
what gives
will
you
decide.
That confidence? Has there been any indication by the court that
no,
the process
how
will
the
be
court
over
will
by this month?
How the court will give the indication and how will come
then how are you so certain that
we believe
will be
because
over by this month?
We are having the faith in the judiciary, and that is why we are saying the time and again that the judiciary should take this matter on the urgent basis, because it's the matter of the faith of the 100 crore people of the country. That is the Hindus.
Vineet Goenka, Sanjeev Tiwari suggests that the matter will be wrapped up by this month end. Has the court ever indicated that it is going to take up the matter on an urgent basis, that the matter will be wrapped up within a month? Is that the reason why the Prime Minister has made this statement today, saying that the government will wait for the court verdict?
Now, I, through your channel, will request the wise man sitting there as a judge in the Supreme Court to take this one an urgent matter, to take it on a day-to-day basis, the way they have taken up, other issues in the earlier instances. People in this country are waiting for their judgment, and I think today's statement of Prime Minister makes it very, very important for the Supreme Court to take it up in the urgent level.
But
the faith in courts has been restored. Unlike the other groups which talks about their own intention, probably today we have seen the Prime Minister talking in no settled terms. We will follow what the court says, and also a request to the court that they should hear this on the urgent basis, hear it on the day-to-day basis.
Advita Kala, only last year towards the end, the court said that they have other matters to deal with. This is certainly, I mean, they didn't say it in as many words, but not priority. What is giving this sort of confidence that you're seeing now suddenly emerging that this vexed issue that has been going on for decades will be decided by this month end? Any indications that you have seen to this effect?
Not in the present time, and hence there is that appeal for the ordinance route. Because remember, in 2017, Kapil Sibal, Congress leader, appealed to the court and said that decide this case post the general elections.
Yes.
So we know that when the Prime Minister in his interview said that the Congress has been trying to delay this matter, we have factual proof of that. This actually did happen. So I think there are many plans underway to delay the verdict rather than to speed it up, and hence I think the need for action, either the consensus route, which is ideally the best route in many ways, because sometimes even when verdicts come out, especially faith-based verdicts, you find that people don't go along with them in the spirit that they need to. So I think even the consensus route is open. The ordinance route, I think significantly, the Prime Minister did not rule it out.
Yes, that's correct.
All he did was he said that
not before the verdict,
which is absolutely fine from his position, because of course he's a constitutional position, he's the upholder of the Constitution, but he's also the elected representative of the people. And I think that articulation of wanting to get this resolved quickly is only growing because people are tired of this.
Sharad Pradhan, there is no indication so far from the court that this matter will be decided on an urgent basis very quickly. But it appears that there is a sense within the Sangh Parivar, as is being articulated here by two of my panelists, that this matter will be wrapped up by January end. Is that what's giving the BJP, the Sangh Parivar, the confidence today to say that they will wait for the verdict?
Well, to believe that there is any distinction in the thought process and action of the government, that the BJP government and the Sangh Parivar, it would be too naive to believe that. The fact of the matter is that they are hand in glove, and everything that is done by design. So it is very obvious from what the RSS spokesperson and BHP people have been saying. It is very evident. It is clearly evident that they are trying to exercise undue influence. Please let me complete. They are trying to exercise undue influence on the court. By these means, these are devices to exert undue influence on the court, and which is very, it's shocking. You're trying to influence the Supreme Court by these means. These are devices, and the Prime Minister, and I don't think there is any disrespect. They is going by
what you are talking.
This is a hard reality.
Okay, so the allegation, Vineet Goenka, is that there is an effort to influence the court. Can public opinion influence the court?
Yes, I'll tell you why are the courts meant. The courts are meant for public good. I'm sure the court listens to the voice of the people. Otherwise, the courts will not function in a democratic process.
No, but the court has said already, as I pointed out, that there are several other issues
that is what, if you ask me the individual, that is the pain.
The
court has time to speak about how much pollution a cracker will have, how much, water should be used.
But the same, people's lives, you think that is not important?
Ram also impacts common man.
That is not important. Pollution, according to you,
Ram is very important because it's an identity. I would not have an identity if there is no Ram here. So probably my request through your channel to the wise man sitting there in Supreme Court will be...
determine the presence of a God.
If you don't have an identity, madam, you will never survive. Human beings have survived because of identity. Nations survive because of identity. Civilization survive because of identity. Let me tell you one small poem, if you permit, for 10 seconds. गिरी कहोन सकल वंश टूटते थे भूमि पे, हारते थे हौसले पंच नदी के तीर पर, पता नहीं कहाँ है वे, अतीत में समा गए, काल के प्रवाह में मुझको मिटा गए. Where is Alexandria? Where is his civilization? Where is Greek civilization? You see pyramids, but you don't see their civilization. You see Babylon, but you don't see their civilization. You see Macedonia, but you don't see their civilization, because the identity has been lost. And if we have to retain this civilization, if we have to retain our identity, I think we should have Ram and Ram temple. But my request again, once again, through your channel will be, please hear us out. Please give us some justice.
As long as it gives them votes, their whole idea is to use the Ram temple to garner votes.
Now, what you are talking, we have sacrificed so many governments on the on this temple. We hardly, the governments and the votes hardly matters for the RSS.
Which government have you sacrificed over this issue?
4 governments were sacrificed on the issue of the Ram Mandir temple.
Kalyan Singh resigned and went, madam. Kalyan Singh have resigned.
Kalyan Singh resigned. The Bhairav Singh Shekhawat ministry, it was suspended. Similar government in the, what do you call, Madhya Pradesh, it was.
So what are you indicating then? What are you indicating by saying that 4 governments have been sacrificed at the altar of the Ram temple?
No. What I want to say you that it's the issue of the faith of the people of 100 crores Hindu in this country. And this matter has been in the court from last 123-24 years. Since the days of the Britishers, these matters is there in the court. For how long Ram keep on knocking on the door of the court? That is the issue. And that is why we are talking about that the government hardly matters.
Since they are party to the case, Kartik Chopra, how do you read the statement of the Prime Minister today?
No, we are very happy to see the statement of the Prime Minister, and we are really looking forward to the the directions being given by the Honorable Supreme Court on the 4th as to how the case will be heard, what will be the bench, what will be the process, and we are hopeful for an early judgment. But I think, you know, if somebody says that the judgment will come within a month, etc.
No, I'm not saying. We are hoping.
There is a 1 second, sir. 1 second. I heard you. Now let me speak.
Yeah, I'm just.
1 second, sir.
Let him answer.
There is a process. There is a process which has to be settled. There are documents which have to be presented. There is a lot of evidence which was not seen properly in the earlier judgment. That is why we are in the Supreme Court, which we will present. It will take time. And we are very happy and we respect the justice and the impartiality of the Supreme Court. And we look forward to early result of this case.
Kartik
the
Chopra,
Nirmohi Akhada has always been the owner of the land, the Shabiyat of the deity, and will rebuild the Ram temple on the site itself.
Kartik Chopra, by your assessment, you are saying that you are looking forward to the case being wrapped up at the earliest. How early do you think it can be? Before the elections?
Madam, we have been fighting for the last 125 years, so we hope that it is much faster than that at least.
All right. So your assessment is that before the 2019 elections, this matter will be wrapped up, a verdict will come out from the Supreme Court?
Madam, we would not like to link this to any elections. As I said, we have been fighting this case independently for so long. We would like to see early resolution. Our saints would like to see early resolution. And every Hindu of this country would like to see the Sri Ram Janmabhoomi Mandir rebuilt at the earliest. It is our faith just as much as that of 100 crore other Hindus that we would like to see the Sri Ram Janmabhoomi Mandir built at the earliest.
Sanjay Kumar, I want to come to you because there you have Kartik Chopra saying don't link this to politics. You have the RSS representative here also saying that this is not about votes. But is this not about votes, Sanjay Kumar?
No, I would be very surprised if this is not about vote. Every action political parties do is about vote. I would be, as I said, I am completely surprised if BJP comes out and says, no, this is not about vote. Yes, for a public posturing, they have to say this is all about faith, this is all about Ram temple, this is all about Ram, this is all about belief. But you can see a clear connection. When you look at the timetables, when does this issue comes up in a big manner? This is just before the 2019 election that this is now coming up in a big way. Yeah. So completely surprised if they want people to believe that this is not linked anyway with election and this is just about faith.
Advita Kala?
You know, I think the BJP has been consistent in its approach when it comes to the Ram Mandir. In fact, now what is interesting to me is seeing the Congress really change its tune and other parties change its tune. For example, during the Rajasthan elections, you know, you had, I think it was C.P. Joshi who said that the temple will be built under a Congress prime
yes,
minister.
Suddenly temple is
and then,
and
you know, suddenly though you see those kind of utterances coming from the Congress, you have the communists taking a much more, you know, line which is much more nuanced.
Okay, but the
so
point,
I think the difference
but the point
really has
maybe
been
that Sanjay Kumar is making here is that only towards a very important elections do we see the kind of pressure that is built over the issue of Ram Temple. After all, the government was in power for 4.5 years. If there was a question of an ordinance that the RSS has now, you know, that the idea that they've thrown around, this could have been done earlier as well.
Please look at the timeline. You know, what did the Supreme, first of all, you had Kapil Sibal in 2017 saying delay this matter, you know, till after the 2019 elections.
So why didn't they bring an ordinance at that time? Why wasn't this suggested at that time?
Finish. Subsequently, you had in now the Supreme Court, you know, the judge's observation that, you know, this is not something that is urgent. So hence, consequently, you have this conversation that has emerged about the ordinance route.
But there was,
you've also had the precursor of an ordinance
there was never
with
this,
the triple talaq
there was
bill.
never this perception that this matter will be decided very soon. Why wasn't the bill or ordinance route taken for 4.5 years? And this matter would have been settled by Parliament itself.
That is why
the BJP has brute majority in the Lok Sabha.
But in Rajya Sabha, there is no majority, number one. Number two, that is why we are continuously persisting and insisting the government, pressurizing the government, putting our point of view before the government, that you adopt any of the democratic and peaceful manner. Our first issue is to resolve it unanimously.
But has there
convince
been any
the other
effort,
party, try to convince the other party.
There is to convince. That is the point. Has there been any effort to convince the other parties to bring about some consensus in the Rajya Sabha?
It was never connected with these elections. It was Kapil Sibal who connected this with the elections. If you see, BJP's position is very firm. We want Ram Mandir. We are waiting for the court orders to come up. Yes, my request to the court will be, the wise man sitting in the court will be...
Answer my question. Why wasn't a bill or an ordinance route suggested or taken in the 4.5 years? Why was it so difficult?
You wait for court. See, we are in an elected government. In an elected government, we wait for the court. Court has a major role to play.
In Supreme Court by Mohan Bhagwat.
So you just can't go and tell the Supreme Court, now as you have taken decades, we are taking it off from you and we are taking it to the legislation. That will kill this democracy. I think probably it was the best move. We said, court, let the court do it. Yes, if the court does not do it, there is a private member bill which is there already pending. Rakesh Sinha has brought inside there. There can be debates there. And today Prime Minister has clarified that we will wait for the court to come out. Yes, every citizen can request, like I'm requesting the court and the wise men sitting there in the court to take it up early.
The allegation is that that the BJP has never changed its stand. It is the other parties that have changed their stand. But in the 4.5 years, was there ample opportunity to get some consensus going in the Rajya Sabha, make an attempt? Because in the Lok Sabha, it wouldn't have been difficult to pass a bill on the Mandir.
You are absolutely right. And more than that, if BJP was sincerely interested in pushing the Mandir verdict, they could have moved an application before the Supreme Court. While on the other hand, they are busy spreading the word as if to say that it is Kapil Sibal who rules the Supreme Court.
You would have been the first person to say we are influencing the Supreme Court. You would have been going on full blossom, saying that you are influencing it. No, I think Supreme Court has matured enough and the messages can go, even these kind of debates.
The Supreme Court is not guided by
don't try to influence them.
Kapil Sibal.
To delay
in
the
the same way, if you think Supreme Court can be guided by Kapil Sibal, why don't you do it?
Now hopefully the title case will start.
I think it's a strange obfuscation. I think it certainly reveals strategy. The reason Kapil Sibal's name was quoted in this was not because he guides the Supreme Court, but basically it reveals a certain strategy of the Congress, which is focused on delaying the verdict, which is focused on pushing this issue longer, letting it carry out for longer.
That is the allegation is that they were trying to stretch the case.
That is the strategy. It's a strategic.
Let him.
भगवान श्री राम को दबा के रख दिया आपने राजनीति के नीचे.
राजनीति कौन कर रहा है कार्तिक चोपड़ा जी? यहाँ तो लग रहा है कि सभी कर रहे हैं इस पे राजनीति. सिर्फ एक पार्टी को आप नहीं ब्लेम कर सकते.
हम हमेशा कहते हैं हम या तो कोर्ट के वर्डिक्ट का वेट करेंगे या आपसी बातचीत से इसको सुलझाएंगे.
तो कार्तिक चोपड़ा जी, जब आरएसएस चीफ ऑर्डिनेंस की बात करते हैं, तो क्या आपको ये बात मंजूर है होगी अगर ऑर्डिनेंस लाया जाए सुप्रीम कोर्ट वर्डिक्ट से पहले?
मैडम, ये तो सरकार का क्लियर स्टैंड आ ही गया है आज से कि ऑर्डिनेंस अभी कुछ नहीं आएगा, पहले सुप्रीम कोर्ट का जजमेंट आएगा तो तब की तब देखें ना.
लेकिन यहाँ पे तो ऐसा मालूम पड़ रहा है कि लोगों को ये उम्मीद है कि 1 महीने के अंदर ये वर्डिक्ट आ जाएगा। ये कॉन्फिडेंस कहाँ से आया कोई नहीं समझा पा रहा है, लेकिन
शायद जल्दी भी आ जाएगा।
तो पता नहीं, पर हमें खुशी है कि 4 तारीख को ऑनरेबल सुप्रीम कोर्ट में हमारे टाइटल केस में क्या से कार्रवाई होनी है, ये बात तो तय हो जाएगी और हियरिंग शुरू होने लगेगी। हम तो जो हो सकता है उसी को हम देख रहे हैं और उसी से हम खुश हैं।
पॉलिटिक्स, संजय कुमार, पॉलिटिक्स सब कर रहे हैं is what Karthik Chopra himself is saying. Nirmohi Akhada is party to this case. Now help us understand how do votes get influenced by an issue which is emotive like the Ram temple? How has it helped the BJP if at all over the years?
No, voters do get influenced by emotive issues. But this emotive issue has to be very, very emotive. It can't be just, very small emotions. If you play it up, if any party play up well these emotional issues, it does benefit the party. It does give electoral gains. I think if I remember correctly, the two Lok Sabha elections in which BJP gained because of this emotive issue was in 1998 and 1999. But I think there is a limitation to these emotive issues. Absolutely. You can get sections of voters, but you cannot get sizable number of votes just on the emotive issues. Emotive issue gives you a core vote, but if you want to win elections, you have to bring about additional vote along with the emotive vote.
Is there an attempt then to, kind of make this, one second Sharad Pradhan, I'll come to you. Vineet Goenka, ahead of elections, nobody can deny that there is a very intrinsic link between the Ram temple issue and politics over it. So tell us very clearly, is there an attempt to drum up this issue ahead of 2019 for whatever reasons? I mean, that may be the BJP's politics, so be it.
As I spoke in my opening remarks, it is not about votes, it's about my identity. And my identity is over any elections, I think.
Is that the BJP's only core identity?
Every citizen of this country,
for 5 years talking about development, is there nothing other than the Ram temple that they can talk about?
Yes, there are. The justice which has been given to my Muslim sisters by this triple talaq is one more issue where we talk about dignity to Muslim women. We also talk about how the gas has been given, 5.5 crore gas connections been given to the poor. If you see the lights, all the villages are now having a light. More than 18,000 villages got this light.
But you started by saying it's about identity, Advita.
Yeah, of course. So these are not two different things.
Even after 4.5 years, is this the biggest issue for the BJP?
No, I think he answered questions on many other issues, and I want to go back to what Mr. Sharma said about 1989, 1990. Absolutely, 1989 in the Palampur session of the BJP, a prastav was brought for the Ram Mandir. So to say that this is something that comes up during the elections is, I think, it just doesn't bear out as far as historical fact is even considered when it comes to this party. They have pushed for it. They continue to push for it. I reiterate that the Prime Minister has not ruled out an ordinance. He has done what someone in his position, constitutional position, would do and should do, which is to say that the legal course take its way. But importantly, please also understand what is the lawsuit about? The lawsuit is about a title dispute, about the ownership of the land. The temple is another matter altogether, and I think the voices for that.
The temple was always in the possession and ownership of the Nirmohi Akhada. This is where everyone is very conveniently separating the issues. The Nirmohi Akhada is fighting for title, for Shabiyat, as well as the right to rebuild.
Okay. So is that matter also going to be settled during the title suit?
First, the title will be settled.
First, the title will be settled.
And whoever gets the title will build the temple.
Okay. And if it's the judgment like the previous one in the lower court that we've seen, where it goes 3 ways, what do you do then?
Madam, I can't start looking into the future. There's no crystal ball that I have to look at. So let's just take it one step at a time.
Okay, I want to come to you,
Sanjay. We respect all the institutions of our great democracy, the legislature, the judiciary. Let us take everything step by step in a logical and balanced manner.
When we talk about Ram temple, this particular Ram temple
but at the same time, Bhagwan Shri
it
Ram
came into prominence only once when the VHP has took this issue and take it out from Ayodhya to the entire country. Number one, you cannot forget it. And you cannot forget the type of pressure the VHP and the RSS is building on the government, either through Dharm Sansad or through the different Dharm Sabha in the different parts of the country. The people, they are having faith in the VHP and they are having the faith in the RSS. And for us, and that is what I will request my friend. I will request my friend that it hardly matters that who built the temple, but the Ram temple at that side, which is the so-called disputed side, it's the most important for the faith of the Hindus, and the entire Hindus of the entire world, they are looking towards that Ayodhya.
No, Sanjeev Tiwari, that is why I asked you at the outset. Since the Prime Minister today has said there is going to be no ordinance before a Supreme Court verdict, how do you take this statement? Because from what Karthik Chopra has just explained, since Nirmoya Akhada is party to the case, he would know best that this matter doesn't seem to be getting settled very soon. And then the model code of conduct will set in. What happens then? The demand of the RSS is going to be relegated to the back burner once again.
Again, the Dharma Sansad will take place there in the Prayagraj during the Kumbh, and there the course of action would be decided by the sadhus and sons of the country. That is what our stand is. But still today, we are of the opinion that the Ram temple issue must be wind up before the 2019 elections. It should not be allowed to be.
Will Dharam Sansads have any bearing on the government, considering now that the Prime Minister has in an interview very categorically stated that there will be no ordinance before a Supreme Court verdict?
Well, the Dharam Sansads, I have seen dozens of Dharam Sansads taking place since the early 80s when this movement began. And the Dharam Sansads are systematically attended by pocket sadhus of the Saffron Brigade. They are not sadhus of the, they don't represent the
pocket sadhus are, Mr. Sarad Pradhan, what the pocket sadhus and sadhus are, what the difference between that?
BJP is entitled to say
sadhus are sadhus. Don't try to insult the sadhus. Don't try to insult the sadhus and their tapasya on this channel.
Don't try to raise them.
Don't try to confuse it, Mr. Sarad Pradhan. The sadhus, they have sacrificed their lives for the society and for the Hindu religion. Don't try to confuse it. And don't try to insult them on the new channel.
You and not let you speak.
No. What you are talking,
have some decency to let others speak.
No. What you are talking, you speak, but you cannot insult the sadhus because the sadhus are not sitting here. Since the sadhus are not sitting on the channel, you will keep on insulting the sadhus. And that is your stand, and you will keep on supporting the Congress. And you know, the Congress is not coming on even the news channel or any on the public forum on the Ram temple.
All right, I'll have to ask both of you to just hold on to your thoughts there for a bit.
One second. This pocketed journalist, like the pocketed what he talks about. This is actually voice of a pocketed journalist.
I'm not letting me speak.
I'll come to you, Sharad Pradhan.
I have a very important point to make.
I will come back to you.
I'm sure pocketed journalists like you have many.
One second. Just give me a minute because
they don't want to listen to the truth.
I will come to you.
Pocketed journalists like you don't speak truth. They speak, only the master's language.
Just a second. So we spoke with Rakesh. One second, Sharad Pradhan. Just a second.
Language which can divide.
Sharad Pradhan, just a second. I will come to you. Please calm down. We spoke with Rakesh Sinha of the RSS ideologue, who's also now a Rajya Sabha member. In fact, it is his bill that Vineet Gonka was referring to, a private member's bill. But I began by asking him how he reacts to what the Prime Minister has said today.
Prime Minister has said that we should wait for the court's verdict. But he didn't say that there cannot be ordinance, there cannot be enactment of law. He said after the court verdict, when the things come to the center, they will take all the necessary steps to remove the obstacles from the construction of Ram temple. That is a very positive signal. In the post-independent India, there is one Prime Minister who has given a very, very positive statement. He said, he didn't say this is a disputed matter. He didn't say there was a Babri Masjid. He is committed to the construction of Ram temple, but he is sitting on the constitutional position.
No, but at the end of the day, Rakesh, another question is then what happens to the Ram temple? Will it go through the parliament? Will there be any attempt to have an ordinance or a bill?
No, we can only expect that when there is a huge public opinion, the emerging public opinion, there is a huge support for the temple issue. The Hindu society is considering that delaying means denying the justice, as Mohan Bhagwat said. So I think courts should take account of all these things and give a verdict as soon as possible. If court delays, in that case, ordinance or the enactment of law. There are only two routes, because Rajya Sabha BJP is not in the majority. Therefore, ordinance is the only route left out.
But you know, there was ample opportunity ever since the RSS chief Mohan Bhagwat has made this view clear that the Sangh Parivar would want an ordinance before the winter session of Parliament. Between the winter session and the vote on account, there could have also been a bill brought in Parliament during the winter session. Why didn't that happen then? Why didn't the government make a move on that count?
No, as far as the reconstruction of Ram Temple is concerned, there is no dispute in the Sangh Parivar. Each and every individual in Sangh Parivar or Hindu society is committed for the construction of Ram Temple. BJP's position is unchanged since 1986. BJP's manifesto categorically said that Ram Temple should be constructed. A Prime Minister belongs to this. He is the supreme leader of the Bharatiya Janata Party. So you cannot delink Prime Minister from the BJP's manifesto. And in this very interview, he said that if the things come to the center, he will take necessary steps. What does it mean? This is open for the interpretation, and we have very positive and optimism for the Prime Minister's statement.
So far, no attempt has been made in that direction, Rakesh Sinha. In fact, the private members' bill that we were talking about has also not been taken up in Parliament. What do you think then is the way ahead? Because the RSS has made it very clear that they want the temple to be built. And now is the time, because the BJP has brute majority in the Lok Sabha.
You know, nobody can suspect on BJP's intention or Prime Minister's intention for his commitment to the Ram Temple. And this is the expression of the Hindu society's desire of the Hindu society, articulated by Hindu society leaders, and particularly Mohan Bhagwat ji, that it should be constructed without any delay. Delaying is denying justice. And therefore, I think that Bharatiya Janata Party, taking into account of the emerging public opinion, is very positive. And government is very positive. This interview, I take this interview a very, very positive signal for the future.
Okay, now I want to go back to Sharad Pradhan. Sharad Pradhan, you just heard what Rakesh Sinha there said, RSS ideologue, now a member of Parliament, somebody who had said that he will bring in a private member's bill if necessary. Now, all that has been happening in the background, and despite that, we haven't seen any legislative move really to build the Ram Temple. Why so?
Because at the end of the day, both the Prime Minister and all the politicians of the BJP, they ultimately realize that they do not have a majority in Rajya Sabha. Even an ordinance needs to be passed by both the houses.
But at least so that would make the government's intention clear.
So that,
if it is a political issue,
but
Sharad Pradhan,
that is what they are trying to do.
The BJP could reap benefit out of that as well.
You know, that is what they are trying to do. They are trying to reap a harvest out of it by creating a hype on the temple issue.
This is the language of a pocketed journalist.
Done hand in glove with the RSS. They are doing it because they are trying to create an atmosphere that
they brought in the triple talaq.
And mind you, one more thing.
They brought in the triple talaq ordinance. They have brought in a bill on triple talaq. It is facing struggle in the Rajya Sabha, passed in the Lok Sabha. But the BJP has been able to send out a message that they are the ones who have the the goodwill of the Muslim women in their mind. I mean, that is the message that they're trying to send out. Couldn't they have done that with the Ram Temple issue as well by bringing in a bill? That is my question.
That would have been the easiest thing, I'll tell you. But I think the respect for the judiciary and also consensus to take people along, I think that was the move. And I respect Prime Minister Modi for that. He said, we'll wait for the court. And I'm sure on 4th, when the courts start hearing, they would realize the mood of the country and they would do it very early. Maybe not even a month, maybe early before that also.
That question was for Sharad Pradhan.
The wishful thinking.
No, I have a right to think, sir, as an independent citizen. I'm not a pocketed journalist, sir. I don't have a brief from my master.
Is not only confident that the case will be decided very soon, they are also confident that the verdict will go in their favor. You ask them, it's a court, and if the verdict doesn't go in their favor, what are they going to do? They have no answer.
No. Then
They
there
want
is
the
a solution.
verdict to come in their favor.
There are constitutional solutions for that, Mr. Sarat Pradhan.
They want to
Don't try to forget that the legislature is
the
there.
question as far as the verdict is concerned. The question is about if the verdict doesn't happen before the elections, what happens then, Adwaita Kala?
I think we cannot, prejudge any situation.
Sure, but hypothetically speaking,
and really to go back to your question about the political dividends of this, and again of the Rajya Sabha, and they don't have the numbers in the Rajya Sabha. On the other hand, I feel that if they wanted to take political mileage out of it, since every political party is so making the right noises but not actually moving, putting this to the Rajya Sabha, this ordinance to the Rajya Sabha would have been the best way to have the other parties declare their position on Ram Mandir. The fact that the Prime Minister is not suggesting that right now is because entirely for this exactly the reasons that he said so. The fact that it is in court. And I think sometimes things that are said are exactly what they mean.
Sanjay, is that in line with what the BJP has been trying to project, that we want this election to be about development and keeping the Ram Temple issue on the side? It will be in focus because the RSS will keep talking about it, but the Prime Minister will talk about other issues but the Ram Temple.
Now that they know that they have not been able to fulfill the promises on development,
see,
this
if
is falling
BJP
back on the
had
temple.
managed to win, if BJP had managed to win the 3 states, Rajasthan, Madhya Pradesh, Chhattisgarh, I have no doubt that BJP would have gone into 2019 election on the plank of development. But having lost the 3 elections, I think there is a confusion within the BJP. They don't think that they will be able to win 2019 only if they go into election on the agenda of development. So they have to bring in something else, and I think they will play this whole issue of Mandir in a subtle way. So they need to keep their core votes intact on the basis of playing up this Mandir card.
Okay.
So that's why I think this issue is being brought into in the forefront.
Okay.
So both the issues, development will be on the side track, but
right.
in on the main line, I think this Ram Mandir is going to be the main plank of BJP in 2019 elections.
Sanjay, I'll come back to you because we are learning that the RSS has tweeted about the Prime Minister's statement on the Ram Mandir issue. Now, the Prime Minister's statement, this is what the tweet reads. The Prime Minister's statement is positive towards the direction of building the Ram Temple. That's what the RSS is suggesting at the moment. The RSS, the chief itself, Mohan Bhagwat, had built pressure on the government to bring about a law on the issue of Ram Temple. Today, the RSS is saying that what the Prime Minister has said, that wait for the verdict. This is something that they see positively. Now, once again, Sanjay Kumar, coming back to you, because you are talking about the political implications of this during elections. You are saying that this issue will carry on the side, but of course, the government wants to keep the focus on what they believe is the development work that they have done. At the end of the day, taking lessons from what you have said, the semi-finals to 2019 Lok Sabha elections, the assembly elections, is the majority vote going to be most important? Is that why this issue has gained more significance and currency now?
There is no dispute about that the majority vote is going to be very important. There are large number of states where minorities are not in sizable number. So no dispute that majority vote is important, and BJP will focus to mobilize the majority vote, and that is why this Ram Mandir is going to be the core issue of BJP in 2019 election.
And even in the majority vote, is it the upper caste vote? What is it like?
Ram belongs to everybody. Do not divide the Hindu society in upper caste and lower caste. Rather, I would like to remind you, even the Khojas also.
Let him finish.
I think we have moved beyond
out
that.
of the contest statement.
It may, I think, in the 90s, in the say 1998 and 1999 election, I think BJP got a lot of upper caste vote, but I think BJP has moved beyond that. It is not only about upper caste vote. Lots of large number of OBC votes have got mobilized on the issue of Ram Temple, and also sizable number of Dalits have also got mobilized in favor of BJP on this issue of Ram Temple.
Interesting.
So I would agree that this is not only about upper caste vote.
Okay.
BJP has managed to get OBC's vote and little bit of Dalit vote on the issue of Ram Temple.
Let me just add, not only Hindus, but if you see Khojas, if you see Sias, Bohras, Ahmadiyas, everybody has signed in the favor of building a Ram temple. Even educated Sunnis have signed about it. It's handful of Sunnis who are opposing this particular thing. You go to the villages, they will say, Ram hamara astitva hai. It is not about the faith. It is not about what religion the person comes from. It's about whether they believe in this country or not. And I think Ram has got no caste and all. One more thing. Another thing, you know, somebody said BJP wanted to bring out this ordinance or not. It would have been very easy for us to bring out an ordinance. See, there are two prime ministers, Rajiv Gandhi, where Supreme Court gives some relief to a victim of triple talaq. He denounces that and says, no, go and be in misery. On the other side, we have Bharatiya Janata Party, we have Narendra Modi ji, who says, no, our Muslim sisters should have some kind of dignity.
Let's just
Same way, in the Ram temple, it was very easy for us to bring in an ordinance, then go to Lok Sabha, get it passed, and then stand in Rajya Sabha and say, expose this
Kartik
Janudhari
Chopra is not
Shudo,
very happy about the fact that
Rahul
other
Gandhi.
issues are also being brought in, Kartik.
So it could have been very easy, you know, but you know, some pocketed journalists in their own language, they speak their masterpiece. It is, I think, the interest of the governance what has been happening.
You think at the end of the day, the issue is politicized and it's clear because it's a political party is using it, and not one. It appears now even the Congress, by staying quiet on the issue, wants to politicize it. Kartik?
Ma'am, as somebody here from the BJP said, you know, the BJP has from the 80s been consistent in its stand for the demand for a Ram Mandir. But like somebody else also said, we have seen in the recent elections the Congress making a temple run and declaring their caste and etc. etc. So, you know, we appreciate the efforts of all political parties, but these efforts should all come towards building consensus to help us build the Shri Ram Janmabhoomi Mandir at Ayodhya. क्योंकि अगर अयोध्या जी पे श्री राम जन्मभूमि जहां है वहां पे जन्मभूमि मंदिर नहीं बनेगा तो कहां बनेगा?
All right, so let's wait for the court's verdict because it's only the court that can decide on this matter. Today the Prime Minister has also said that we will have to wait for the court verdict before any next step is taken on the issue of Ram Mandir. Many thanks to all the panelists this evening for joining us here on Viewpoint. Narendra Modi set the agenda for 2019, speaking on a multitude of other issues as well. He attacked the Gandhi family, saying the so-called first family is out on bail and his mission is to end their culture of corruption and nepotism. On the Rafale row, Modi said that he's willing to face multiple charges from the opposition but will continue to work as their charges have no merit. Speaking on the 2019 elections, he attacked the opposition, saying that the polls will be Janata versus Gadbandhan. Modi also spoke on the surgical strike, saying it was a risk and he was more concerned about the troops, adding that it will take more than one strike for Pakistan to change. On demonetization, he said that it was not a jhatka and that he had warned the nation about it in advance.
आखिर महागठबंधन ये क्यों बन रहा है? 5 साल हो गए महागठबंधन ने देश के सामाजिक आर्थिक विषयों को लेकर के कुछ सोचा हो, कुछ कहा हो, एक स्वर से कहा वैसा हुआ है क्या? नहीं हुआ है। अभी भी उनके यहाँ से 2-2 स्वर निकलते हैं, भिन्न भिन्न स्वर निकलते हैं और आखिरकार ये लोग हो गए हैं। ये खुद के बचाने के लिए मैदान में सहारा ढूंढ रहे हैं, एक दूसरे को भाई हाथ पकड़ो बच जाएंगे, तो ये खेल चल रहा है। उनका इरादा एकमात्र मोदी है। मोदी को ये करो, मोदी को वो करो। आप अखबार निकाल दीजिए, पहला पेज तो एक नेता बोलेगा मोदी ऐसा है, मोदी वैसा है। दूसरा पेज दूसरा नेता बोलेगा मोदी है, मोदी वैसा है। आप अखबार के 10 पेज निकाल दीजिए, 10 अलग अलग गठबंधन के साथी अलग अलग स्वर में गालियाँ देते रहते हैं। क्या करेंगे, क्यों करेंगे, देश के लिए क्या करेंगे, ऐसे कोई दृष्टि नहीं है। चुनाव का दिशा निर्धारित करने वाली है। भारत की जनता चुनाव का एजेंडा तय करने वाली है। भारत की जनता के एस्पिरेशंस के साथ कौन है और भारत की जनता के एस्पिरेशन के खिलाफ कौन है, ये चुनाव का मानदंड बनने वाला है। कांग्रेस के लोग भी कहते हैं कि कांग्रेस एक सोच है, कांग्रेस एक कल्चर है। इतने सालों तक मुख्य धारा में वो कल्चर रहा और उसके कारण कम अधिक मात्रा में हिंदुस्तान के राजनीतिक जीवन का वो कल्चर बन गया। सभी दिलों में कुछ न कुछ रूप से पहुंच गया और वो कल्चर क्या? जातिवाद, परिवारवाद, वंशवाद, अनडेमोक्रेटिक, करप्शन, भाई भतीजावाद, इसके आसपास से राजनीतिक कल्चर, यानी कांग्रेस इसको प्रमुखतया प्रतिनिधित्व करती है। मैं जब कांग्रेस मुक्त कहता हूं, तब मैं इस प्रकार की सोच के खिलाफ, इस प्रकार के कल्चर के खिलाफ देश को मुक्त कराना चाहिए। और मैंने यहाँ तक कहा है कि कांग्रेस को भी कांग्रेस कल्चर से मुक्त होना पड़ेगा। इंस्टीट्यूट रहे या न रहे ये चर्चा का विषय नहीं। तो और मैं तो मानता हूँ कि लोकतंत्र में मजबूत विरोधी दल होना चाहिए, लेकिन दुर्भाग्य है कि आज देश को एक बहुत बड़ी कमी महसूस हो रही है कि कांग्रेस उस काम को करने में भी विफल गई है। ये भी मानना पड़ेगा कि इस देश का फर्स्ट फैमिली जिसको बड़ा बोला जाता था, 4-4 पीढ़ी से जिन्होंने देश को राज किया है, उनको जमानत पर निकलना पड़े, और वो भी पैसों की हेरा फेरी में। ये बात अपने आप में बहुत बड़ी है। और जो सेट ऑफ पीपल है जो उनकी सेवा में लगे हैं, वो ऐसी चीज़ों को दबाने में लगे रहते हैं और चीज़ों को उभारने में लगते हैं। ये अपने आप में बहुत बड़ी बात है। इस देश के भूतपूर्व वित्त मंत्री, उनको आज अदालत के चक्कर काटने पड़ते हैं। सुप्रीम कोर्ट तक मसला क्लियर हो चुका है। सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने उसके बाल की खाल उधेड़ करके सारी चीज़ें निकाल कर के रख दी है। फ्रांस के राष्ट्रपति जी ने बयान दे दिया है, भारत के प्रधानमंत्री ने बयान दे दिया है। उनको इतना कर लीजिए, जो इतने सवाल मुझे पूछ रहे हैं, वे जब भी बोले तो आप इतना, कोई मीडिया में हिम्मत होनी चाहिए, उनको पूछे कि ठहरिए भाई, आप बताइए, सिद्ध कीजिए, आप जो आरोप लगा रहे हैं हमें बताइए, ऐसे पत्थर मार के भाग मत जाइए। देश में चर्चा ये होनी चाहिए कि आज़ादी के बाद लगातार डिफेंस डील हमेशा विवादों में क्यों आए हैं। ऐसा कौन सा वर्क कल्चर बना है कि देश में इस प्रकार से डिफेंस डील को ही विवादों में डाल करके हमारे देश की सेना को और दुर्बल करने का षड्यंत्र कौन कर रहा है, क्या कारण है? दूसरी बात है, डिफेंस डील में दलालों को क्या ज़रूरत है? क्या इन दलालों के बिना डिफेंस डील नहीं होता? तीसरी बात है, मेक इन इंडिया अगर 70 साल पहले शुरू हुआ था, भारत खुद अपने शस्त्र बनाता, तो ये बाहर से जो मलाई खाने वाला रास्ता है वो बंद होता कि नहीं होता? मेरा गुनाह ये है कि मैं मेक इन इंडिया की कोशिश कर रहा हूँ। मेरा गुनाह ये है कि हिंदुस्तान में सेना को जो ज़रूरत है वो हिंदुस्तान में बननी चाहिए, ताकि ये सारे बाहर से जो सौदेबाजी हो रही है बंद होनी चाहिए। ये झटका नहीं है जी। 1 साल पहले हमने देश को कहा था कि ये एक व्यवस्था है, अगर आपके पास इस प्रकार का धन है तो आप जमा कराइए और उसमें से आपको इतना इतना दंड देना पड़ेगा, आपको मदद मिल जाएगी। लेकिन पहले की सरकारों की तरह उन्होंने सोचा मोदी भी ऐसा ही है, तो बहुत कम लोग आगे आए। ठीक है, अच्छी मात्रा में आए थे, फिर भी पहले की तुलना में ज़्यादा आए थे, फिर भी जो स्थिति थी उसकी तुलना में कम था। उसके बाद मैंने एक बार मीडिया के माध्यम से कहा था कि ये इसका फ़ायदा उठाइए, पार्लियामेंट में भी कहा था, अगर हम इसका फ़ायदा नहीं उठाते हैं तो परिस्थितियां ठीक करने के लिए हमको कोई कदम उठाने पड़ेंगे। ये रातों रात नहीं हुआ है जी, 1 साल भर ये प्रक्रिया चली है, बार बार कहा गया है, उसके बाद ये करना पड़ा है। और ये देश के स्वास्थ्य के लिए ये करना जरूरी था, आर्थिक स्वास्थ्य के लिए करना जरूरी था। जहाँ तक आर्थिक विकास का सवाल है, अब कोई भी व्यवस्था बदलते हैं तो इवन रेल भी जब पटरी बदलती है तो स्पीड थोड़ी कम होती है, हम इसका बात का इनकार नहीं करते हैं। इवन मनमोहन सिंह जी जब प्रधानमंत्री थे, वह फाइनेंस मिनिस्टर थे, अब जब इकोनॉमिक रिफॉर्म हुए थे हमारे देश में, आपको मालूम है जीडीपी कितना गिर गया था, ग्रोथ कितना गिर गया था। 65 की लड़ाई हुई, विभाजन हुआ, उस दिन भी लड़ाई हुई, तो एक लड़ाई में पाकिस्तान सुधर जाएगा, ये मुझे लगता है कि सोचने में बहुत बड़ी गलती होगी। पाकिस्तान को सुधरने के लिए तो अभी और समय लगेगा, चाहे यूपीए सरकार हो चाहे एनडीए सरकार हो। भारत की किसी भी सरकार ने, भारत के किसी भी प्रधानमंत्री ने डायलॉग का विरोध नहीं किया है। ये हमारी कंसिस्टेंट पॉलिसी है कि हम बातचीत के पक्ष में हैं। हमारे देश की एक कंसिस्टेंट पॉलिसी है, यूपी एनडीए नहीं है, ये मोदी मनमोहन सिंह नहीं है। कंसिस्टेंट पॉलिसी है कि हम चर्चा के लिए तैयार हैं। हमारी कंसिस्टेंट पॉलिसी है सभी विषयों पर चर्चा करने के लिए तैयार है। ऐसा नहीं कि ये विषय होगा तो नहीं करेंगे, ये विषय होगा नहीं, सभी विषयों पर, क्योंकि भारत का ग्राउंड बहुत स्ट्रांग है। हमारा कहना इतना ही है कि बम बंदूक में बातचीत सुनाई नहीं देती, आतंकवाद बंद होना चाहिए, क्रॉस टेररिज्म बंद होना चाहिए, और इस पर हम लगातार दबाव बनाए हुए हैं।